It's Ports a Call waterfront dining, award-winning service and cuisine with a view of the dynamic LA harbor from every seat. For reservations and directions, visit portsacalldining.com or call 310-833-3553.
A few weeks ago, Geoff Nicholls, who played in Black Sabbath, as well as a number of other bands from Birmingham, but he played in Black Sabbath, and very nice man. I knew him, I played with him, I've been on multiple tours with him, and he played keyboards and guitar and backup vocals. Geoff had been ill for a little while, and he actually passed away just recently. He actually died on the 28th of January 2017, and Geoff was 72, and he was with his family when he died. A lot of people loved him, obviously, and just want to do a couple of things. I'm going to kind of go back in time, and I don't know if this will benefit anybody that's out there, but it'll probably benefit me. Being rather selfish about it. But some of the bands that we had back in Birmingham in the early 60s were the Boll Weevils, The Seed, Johnny Neal and the Starliners. And I always remember Johnny Neal and the Starliners, and it just I remember them showing up in there. But back then we all had these little transit vans, or actually Bedford vans, and everybody would put their amps in the back and the drums in the back of the van, and we'd go from gig to gig, and Geoff was a part of all that. He was part of all of this huge thing that happened in Great Britain in the early 60s, where we all left school and we were all in bands, and he was a part of that, and I too was a part of those memories, and I remember Johnny Neal and the Starliners a lot. I used to go and see them play, and there's a lot of history. There's a lot of that's interwoven, creates a rock and roll pattern, and there's so much that's been done, that's been said, and that's been achieved, and then further we have to come to the end of things as well, so. I did have an opportunity several months ago to say what I needed to say to Geoff, and so and I feel good about where we are as men. So what I thought might be an honourable thing to do today was to play the actual song "Heaven and Hell" with Ronnie, and I can remember when we actually got that part of the song, when we actually got Heaven and Hell, and things have been slow all week. We've been writing, but we haven't really connected with anything that was, that I can remember. We hadn't really connected too much. But it was a Friday afternoon. I was hanging outside, and Geezer was somewhere, and Geoff was in the living room, and Tony was in the living room. And I heard that riff, the famous riff. I heard, down, bam, bam, bam. And it's like, oh my God, and I just came walking into the living room immediately and sat down behind my drums. At the time, actually, they were Bevan's drums. They ended up in the house somewhere, and they were Bev's drums. And nice kit too. And anyway, I started playing, and I just went into the backbeat behind Tony's riff, and Geoff was already starting to get it grooving. He was already on top of that as well. And Ronnie was either in the kitchen or he had just appeared from out of nowhere, like a flash of lightning or something. And Ronnie showed up, and immediately he started jamming on some lyrics, and literally about 30 minutes later, we had pretty much Heaven and Hell, as not literally as you hear it, because we did change just a couple of things around, but it was there, on that Friday afternoon, I remember actually coming back down here into Orange County, and we were up in Beverly Hills when we first recorded, when we first wrote the song. And I remember coming back down and going, "Oh my God, we got one in the bag," and it was a great feeling, It just kept going around my head and just like, "Oh wow, this is very nice," Those were turbulent times, They were very, for me, they were rough times. Oz wasn't there, and I loved him like a brother, and I really missed him. But and when I say that, I hope people will take that the right way in terms of that's not to be discounting at all towards Ronnie. I love Ronnie too. A great singer and a very nice man. So, but that's how that came about. But Geoff was right there in centre stage. Always in the to me, he was a great musician because he never stepped out, or he never went. He always respected the privacy of wherever we were in our thinking, and in our balance. And that's what makes a good musician, because he can, when you can see where the other guy is, and you can make room for them, and he had that ability. And I think that's why he spent so much time with Tony, and all the way through into the latter tours that we did. A great guy, and a big loss to the music industry, to the music community.